place to find information about digital CC. And that's the library homepage. Do you all know how to get here? There's a link on the bottom of almost every CC page. It says TUT Library. And then on this page, there is a link to digital CC right here. So this is where you would go to view theses and everything else, photographs, videos that are in our institutional repository called Digital CC. This is not just a website, it's an archivally safe repository. Theoretically, it will be here in 100 years. We try to preserve things so they don't just go away. So this is your repository for the college, and the goal is to collect the intellectual and creative work of the college. So we have, we started collecting student films last year. You know, not all senior projects are theses. We have capstones. History has essays. So we try to accommodate whatever it is that different departments want to collect and save. So the link that you need to go to where you will find everything you need to know about thesis submission is right there on the Digital CC page. And if you click on that, it'll give you the important links here. The first link is the link to the self-submission forms for each department and program. So I've created like 35 different forms. It's customized with the faculty from each department and program that you can pick from. And that's where you will go to do your submission process. If you want complete information about thesis submission, including like what should my title page look like, how do I create a PDF-A? A PDF-A is the archival version of a PDF, and there are instructions in my little guide on digital archives that'll tell you how to do that if you don't know. If you want bound print copies, it gives you information there about how to get bound print copies. And I can just show that real quick here. So this has some tips in here that is very useful, like, you know, don't submit till it's been signed off by your faculty. I've had people later come back and say, oh, that wasn't the final version, or I found 10 typos. Once it's in there, it's in there.
What do you mean signed off, sorry?
So your faculty have to approve that this is the final one. You have to go through some kind of process, right, with faculty, with your readers.
I think just the graded, like once your advisor grades it, this is just in sociology,
right.
You then have the opportunity to, you know, make corrections, and it's up to you if you want to submit, you know, the version before your professor,
Oh, I see.
you know, officially gives comments and fix those comments, or if you want to make some revisions and then submit it.
Right. Whatever your department says is the final thing. So I do have examples of title pages. Some students don't put any title page. Please do that and have like the date you graduate, the name of your department. If you want print copies, some departments pay for a print copy that they keep in their department. Does SOCH do that?
Yeah.
Sometimes a department will pay for a one student print copy if they want them. Sometimes not. If you want like 5 print copies to give out at Christmas to your grandparents and aunts and uncles, you can buy print copies at $10 a bound copy. So you arrange all that through your admin assistant in your department. Don't bring us the copies, don't bring us the money. It all goes through your admin assistant. So this little guide, just if you have any questions about any of the details besides submission, that'd be a good place to go. Okay, so I'm going to go to the form. And forms page. So these are all the different forms. And for instance, history, it has on here, boy, it's hard for me to read. Can you read that?
History, yeah. Essay
It
option.
says history,
thesis.
essay option, history, thesis option. I've tried to get every major, the library is not supposed to be in there, it's our test page. not perfect yet, but if you self-submit today, your thesis will be there, and we're working on getting the metadata to display. We do ask you to, make sure you have keywords that describe the content of your thesis, and also an abstract. And I'll show you, actually, let me go back here and show you what they look like. We'll look in past years here. So under academic departments and programs, sociology, since there's so many social people here. Just keeping up with the name changes in the departments. Sometimes significant. Okay, so sociology. So under every department and program, there'll be a collection called student senior theses or capstones or whatever you call them. And then we have them, we show them here by year. So there will be nothing in 15, 16 yet because you haven't submitted anything. But when you submit, when anyone submits, it goes straight into the archive. It doesn't go to my computer and I check it or anything. It goes straight in there. We sometimes go back and make a few corrections.
Would I do 14 and 15? Or would I do 15?
You just go to the form. What year are you graduating? You this year, right?
December.
Yeah. Then it will go to this 15, 16 place.
Okay.
But you don't have to worry about that. Right now, there's nothing there because no one submitted.
Right, yeah.
But we'll look at last year's. And what you see from this page is a tiny little thumbnail, the thesis, and then the abstract here. So this does show whatever abstract you put in will show on this page. So last year, so if you want to go look and see how they put things on the title page or whatever, how they organize their thesis, it's a useful thing to do. The other thing which students really love is that they can link to this thesis in Digital CC on their grad school applications, job applications, anything like that. So that's a big plus. And Jeremy's going to demonstrate how the form, when you go to the form, what students will be doing at the form. You want to do that now, Jeremy? I didn't talk about the history of the Digital CC. I don't know if we have time or if you care, but it's been around about 8 years, and it keeps going through different iterations, but it is now hosted by the college here. It used to be hosted at the University of Wyoming.
So, you'll come to this page, sort of this landing page, and then you'll pick your department. In this case, I'm going to go through this library test form. So you'll be prompted for your last name and your Tiger number, which hopefully you've all used the library quite a bit in your thesis, so you know what that is in terms of prospector and typing things out. So I don't have it memorized, so I'll check mine.
Oh, I have it. Usually, by the way, it has a bunch of zeros in front of it.
Right.
It's usually not exactly your ID number. It's the one at the bottom of your whole card. We want the one
old to
with
be around
all
this
the
college
zeros.
still too.
We'll get this nice little message from Lisa about just letting you know that our default mode, when you publish or when you self-submit your thesis, it's now public available on the open web. And so just a little sort of disclaimer letting you know that that's the case. And you just hit OK. So the first thing is you enter in your first name, and if you want to have, so here, depending on your own preference, if you want to include your middle name officially in the metadata, you can do that. The only two fields we require are your first name and your last name. Then if you want an email sent to you after you've submitted your thesis, you can put your email address. And then Lisa mentioned, depending on your department, you should see your advisors. And so you can also pick multiple advisors if you needed to or wanted to. Also, we have the option where if it's someone outside of the college that's not part of this list, you can write them in here as well. features that we have, and it's kind of a default mode, is that your advisors will also receive an email when you successfully submit it. And so that was a request by the economics department that was pretty popular.
And by the way, make sure you put your thesis advisor down, not your academic advisor. That's
Right. Thank you. That was a good clarification.
It says there, but.
So here you're asking about, this is what determines when you graduate, so whether it's December or May. So you just select which time period you are, and then your next step. So if there are errors, it wouldn't prevent me, it would prevent me from continuing. So here you actually choose your file, and I'm just going to pick this. Then the thesis tile. Test thesis. And whatever number, your page number. So I'll just make this up.
Wow.
I
A lot of
wrote
work there, Jeremy.
I know. A lot of source code in this last chapter of my second book as we're speaking, so kind of burn out. Anyway,
The sociology one won't give you the Chinese-Japanese option.
no. So this was just a test. Some various options here. And so here's the keywords. You're required to put at least one. So, you know, this is just to help sort of your youth, or the people who are coming after you, or searching the digital archives, you can restrict. So, and then the next step, if you have any supporting data sets, or video, or audio, that's under, I think, 500 megabytes.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Should I include that sort of thing at the end of my document that I'm submitting, or should I submit it as a separate document?
It depends on what, I would say if you want, what's nice about having it as a separate document is that then you can actually give that URL to someone and say, here's my data. They want it to like sort of replicate. So it becomes its own sort of object.
You can also attach an Excel or SPSS or whatever format you're using separately, not as a PDA, if you wanted to.
And I will make a plug for that. I'm liaison for the economics department, and I know sociology does a lot of data. And oftentimes, other students down the line come in and ask to see, and sometimes they'll say, "Oh, it would be really nice to see the data."
Yeah.
So put it in and put it in like an Excel or a CSV or format or something like that would be really, really helpful for students coming along in the future.
It's also a resource for yourself.
Is it cool if it's just in a Word document?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you have. That's what you have.
Word doc? Yeah.
So for sure. I mean, we want to kind of capture that. Cool.
If you make a video, like you do a presentation, some thesis students do presentations and they film it. I mean, you could attach a video file if you wanted to.
And I would say since you're doing yours today, just double check, send maybe Lisa the attachment of your Word document.
Okay.
Just to make sure on the data set here. So.
Yeah, or I'll check to see if it's gone in and it looks okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So then we have your last step is that we have an honor code statement that basically assert that this is your original scholarship and you haven't plagiarized. There's also a submission agreement, and part of this is granting Colorado College non-exclusive copyright to the thesis, which is just to reproduce through our digital archives. If we've had some theses in the past where you may have confidential data and reference like trade secrets even in your thesis, and so you don't want that to be publicly available. If that's the case, then you'll need to talk to Lisa directly, and you won't be able to necessarily use this form. So, it's very rare actually, but it does happen. So we say, okay,
If you are using some kind of proprietary data, and they say, you might ask, can I make it public in 5 years? And then we could actually put it in the dark archive.
but I still want it.
And then in 5 years, we could make it available publicly.
Okay.
So we still, even if it's going to be dark for now and in perpetuity, we still want it. I mean, it's part of your scholarship, it's part of your record here at CC, and it's part of your intellectual sort of legacy here. So finally, I submit to the repository, and so successfully submitted, and there's a link directly here, which if we go here, you can see, and there's the PDF that I uploaded as my thesis. So,
It's not your intellectual property.
And if you scroll down there, there is a place where you'll see the metadata, all the keywords and all that we submitted, although that's not working quite right yet.
It will. By the end of the day. So,
Are there any guidelines regarding that title being capitalized?
Actually, when you type the title in, we'd rather it not be capitalized. But it's up to you on
On the
your
title
actual
page, okay.
thesis, yeah.
right. So, and then it's, some departments have, I think, conventions. So it's really
Yeah,
how
I think I found
your
it, but-
department wants you to submit it.
That's-
So
I
I
was
think
gonna say,
we're
our time's about up.
time's about up. So
Do you
I
have
wanted to
other
just
questions?
do one quick plug here. So this little application is open source. It's part of our library that we developed. And if you come across bugs or you have enhancements as you're going through it, there's this little link here that you can do that. So anyway, I just wanted to do a plug for this. So to help us improve it for, it's nice. We'll have a fall session where we actually start testing it. Because really we see the most activity in the spring. So, and one thing we're going to try to get implemented in the spring is, I don't know, how many of you are familiar with DOIs? Digital Object Identifiers. So we're looking as a part of the spring to not only create a DOI for your thesis that's available in terms of, if you referencing citations, you often see DOIs now. But we're going to go retroactively back and assign DOIs to all the existing content. So that'll be another sort of access point that's a little bit more permanent, that ability to be available. There are some other sort of improvements. We're going to be incrementally improving this over time. So.
Jeremy, with the email that they receive and their advisor receives, there's a date stamp, time stamp on it, correct?
Well, it's whenever it's received.
Yes. So, like, if your thesis is due at a certain time, and you've gotten it in before that, that
Right.
will show up as your document showing that it was in on time.
Right. So that's sort of like the how we the 5 p.m. you get it
Yeah.
at 4:59 p.m.
Just so, in case you might want to do it, but yeah. So.
I want to try it a little before minute till.
Yes,
Yes.
but I mean, you would have proof that it went in on time or something. So your faculty will
Some
see that.
departments are very stringent, like Econ, but
Yeah.
some aren't. And you came in, we didn't get your name.
I'm Dana Duncan. I work with Weston.
Oh, okay. So any other questions? We're kind of out of time. This was like a brief overview. Remember, the place to go is the library homepage, Digital CC, and then that little tab, which should have all the information you need there, but you can always contact me. Again, my name's Lisa Lister.
Here's what it should look like. And it's just that discovery.coloradocollege.edu/ETD. We'll take you
You
straight
don't
to.
even have to go there.
Right.
Go
You don't
back.
even have to memorize, but if you wanted to directly go. So this is where everything should end you, where you should end up. Wherever you go.
So what kind of access do people have to the theses after you've submitted them? Is it something where future students can go on and read it online?
It's all open access, so it's freely available on the open web.
Oh, okay. So
Anyone
you
in the
could
world can
Google?
look at it.
Right.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think to me this is becoming more and more important as a part of your professional legacy, and I think we feel it's really important for us as sort of maintaining this for you. service we offer. So,
It is the student's intellectual work, so we consider it, you have the copyright, not your professor, so it's your intellectual property.
Thank you very much.